So, should we buy or sell Bitcoin? So first off, read this disclaimer carefully. And do your good deed of the day by liking and subscribing. So here is Bitcoin slash US dollar, 28% from the 52-week low, but still minus 67% away from the 52-week highs. Here is the website of bitcoin.org. Bitcoin is an innovative payment network and a new kind of money. So get started with Bitcoin, choose your wallet, and buy Bitcoin. So yeah, informative website that guides people into the cryptocurrency landscapes. So that is definitively a rather pedagogical approach. So here is the chart, weekly data points, and the key moving average is the red 200 week moving average. Very viable as support, but we are still stuck below that moving average. We just can't, for the life of us, get above it. Bears, they short, and they short. So yeah, we really just keep fighting at the same level. On the daily data points, there is some constructive action here. So let me just draw it in because this green 50-day moving average was very easy for the bears to short. Bears probably got back in here to short, but the bulls, they were pushing a bit. And not enough though. That's the problem, because what we see here is that the bulls got above, and I guarantee you quite a few bears stopped out their short positions, but the bulls were not able to stay above. So when you reclaim a moving average, you need to turn it from resistance into support. And today, we lost the green 50-day moving average. So we are currently below it. It's not a disaster, but it's just very unfortunate because any kind of bear watching this will be like, well, this was just a fake attempt. It was sort of like if you imagine two like pirate ships, you have like shot from a cannon that sort of missed or just grazed the ship that the bears are on. But at least the bulls are doing something here that could become a bit of an omen for more aggressive action, hopefully. So here is RSI. We are still super low. I mean, also the PPOs. Um, so it's a messy situation for the bears because, for all intents and purposes, this is not like a safe place either to be like aggressively bearish. It would be better for the bears if we do actually get a bit of a aggressive rally, because then if we get overbought, especially on the dailies, then it will be easier for the bears to put on ambitious short positions. If you look here on the daily RSI and PPO, we see that this higher end of RSI is quite easy to short, at least relatively speaking. Currently, we have been able to get above these RSI levels from early June. That is bullish. But the context for us now slipping lower on RSI is that we lost this attempted 50 daily moving average support level that is now again resistance. So it's messy. So purely technically speaking, I give the bears a -6. That is because they have the 200 weekly moving average resistance level, which is it's very much a big deal. They also have been able to ruin the 50 daily moving average support level. So that is back in the resistance box. So yes, this looks bearish, but on the other hand, if the bulls were able to break out above these levels and stay above, then that would be a very big deal. The good thing for the bulls is that these levels are pretty close to the bulls at this point. We are not like far below the 200 weekly moving average. It's very close by. So it's interesting. Nonetheless, the problem is that the bears are simply in control at this point. Okay, So let's look at seasonality. So the seasonality here to the right suggests that we usually see a bit of strength into the 25th of July, then some weakness into the 29th of July, then strength. So a bit up and down. To the left, over the last 5 years, July closes higher 80% of the time, but August is 50-50 and September is the weakest month. Looking at the last 9 years, we do see that from July to August, September, the seasonality gets worse. It is peak bad in September. So I give the Bears a -3 here on seasonality. They simply have more things going for them. So we have to be objective. What we saw here, especially to the left of the screen, it is obviously not that beneficial to the Bulls that we get worse seasonality heading into September. When it comes to fundamentals, there's no fundamentals that are predictive of Bitcoin price. So let's jump to relative performance. Here are the long-term correlations. We have 88% with the S&P 500. We have 35% positive with gold, minus 37% with the dollar index, and then we have 92% positive with Ethereum. There's all these people who say that gold needs to crash for Bitcoin to succeed. Well, the negative correlation we do get here is actually with the dollar index. So Bitcoin should, frankly, view the dollar as its primary enemy. Looking at the daily data points, 95% here with the S&P 500, very positive indeed. 85% here with gold, minus 84% with the dollar index, and 99% with Ethereum. So I do think that it will be interesting, most interesting to look at the relationship here between Bitcoin and the dollar index, because Ethereum is a bit too obvious. And also, Bitcoin is really like the king of the crypto community. So yeah. So here is the US dollar index futures. We have seen an extremely strong rally, a bit of a pullback as of late, but nothing dramatic at all. If we look here at RSI and PPO, historically speaking, and here we go way back to 2006, we are very, very high. Look at MACD, we have very rare bullish readings, and the strength of the dollar has definitively become a liability for the dollar. There's a lot of countries that are very upset about the strength. So it is a problem. And there are some moves now by the ECB and other central banks that are definitively trying to limit this extreme ferocity of the dollar because it has unleashed chaos. Here on the dailies, we are just very, very abnormally high. So we are very quote unquote due a cool down for the dollar. Looking historically, here we go way back here to 2004. There's been quite a few times where the dollar has been on a very big move, as you can see, but the dynamic is that we have these rallies and pullbacks, these time cycles. That is how it usually moves. So given that we have seen this very strangely bullish move, the primary trend suggests that we are very much due a more significant multi-week, if not multi-month pullback. Here is the relationship between Bitcoin and the dollar index. Bitcoin, it's gotten very oversold in this pair. We usually are far above, so you could say that we are very much due some mean reversion. If we look here at the seasonality, like that, so we usually see some weakness heading into later July, but then it usually forms a bit of a low, and Bitcoin tends to outperform the dollar. So I give the bulls a speculative 2 here on relative performance. but we do end up with a minus 2.3 in favor of the bears. The bears, they do still have that 200 weekly moving average resistance and the 50 daily moving average working for them. So as long as they have that, there's more reasons to be bearish than bullish. The big problem for the bears is that Bitcoin, it is very, very low on these, overbought, oversold indicators. So this is it's a level where it is dangerous to be like aggressively bearish. And that is something that could become beneficial to the bulls, especially if they were to show some strength. Because there's probably a bunch of bears sitting on some pretty decent profits, and they want to close out those profits. And in order to close out a short position, you need to buy. So that is basically how you could get a bit of a squeeze. But yeah, let's look at some other crypto currencies. So here is Ethereum. Weekly data points. Some nice move here for Ethereum. This is a very strong breakout above the red 200 weekly moving average. Going to the daily data points, here you can see that on the 18th of July, Ethereum had a violent, aggressive just move out of the way breakout above the green 50 daily moving average. So the green 50 day, it is very important for Bitcoin, and you can see how powerful that moving average is. So the reason why you got a very big green candlestick here is not simply because the bulls were buying. There were many bears that have their stops on their shorts is some place above the 50 daily moving average. And so you got a bit of a squeeze here, a strong move. What I dislike here with Ethereum is that you see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row, we haven't seen the bulls be able to build on the strength of the 18th of July. Now, what you ideally want to see is, of course, higher highs and higher lows. You can't simply just gamble on a short squeeze. You need commitment, So yeah, but this is bullish, but it would be nice if it was even more bullish, because major lows are not simply formed by a short squeeze. You also need, of course, bulls to buy into it. So let's look at Litecoin. So Litecoin here is forming something that looks a whole lot like a bit of a double bottom, like here and here. Yeah, so that is definitively very constructive and rather interesting. If we go here to the dailies, a Litecoin on the topic of the green 50 daily moving average, you can see that back here. Very easy for the bears to just short. Here, shortable. But the problem for the bears is that if we zoom in, yes, the bulls have been able to take back the 50 daily moving average. Here again, we don't see the bulls really push. They just break out a bit. The thing is that we are so close now to testing the 50 day again due to the recent pullback. It is extremely important for the bulls to buy aggressively at that moving average if we were to go down there. If we were to slip below the 50 day on Litecoin, that's simply not good. Here, finally, is Riot blockchain. So back in the day, it was rather difficult to invest in cryptocurrencies. So many people just bought Riot blockchain as a crypto proxy. On the topic of double bottoms, we do have something a bit double bottom-ish here. So this is it's bullish. Looking at the daily data points, we have a clear rounding bottom. So we have seen quite a few days now in a row of us going up. The problem here, okay, is that looking at RSI, we are literally at a prior fail level. Here we failed at that level during this strong rally as well here back in late 2021. This RSI level was, the top. Same thing here with the purple 20 PPO and also the green 50 daily moving average PPO. So on the one hand, we have seen something very bullish for Riot blockchain. The problem is what is going to happen next week, next month. In that case, we are frankly overbought. But if this is a more ambitious move from the bulls, then they will not care whether they are overbought or not. Because during a very strong rally, we usually see that the bulls are able to really push higher, and you get successive short squeezes and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, we have seen a bunch of stuff now. There's interesting developments in the crypto landscape, both those pure cryptos, but also those crypto proxies. So the bulls, they definitively have an opportunity now, but they need to show some serious commitment for this to be a real, true big boy low for this industry.